Hello and welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is the weekly opening of the key. Every Monday, we cut the deck into 4 piles to represent the 4 basic areas of your life, and you can choose whichever stack pertains to your question. Then use the timestamps to skip ahead to that part of the reading. Choose the fire stack if you want to know about your career, your overall health and vitality, or possibly about the past or about your spiritual life. Choose the water pile if your question is about your desires and wishes, your emotional or love life, romance, marriage, pleasure, or about the state of your feelings and affections. Choose the air pile if your question has to do with your thoughts or mental capacity, or with worries and concerns, or about some conflict, disharmony, or communication issue. Choose the earth stack if your question has to do with the things of the outer world or practical life and material affairs, money, business, finances, or possessions, or anything directly related to the physical world or physical health. Okay, let's get started. The fire stack. To start off the fire stack, we have the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups does not like being in the fire stack, so this is a weakened sense of compassion, a weakened empathy or harmony going on in your career or your workplace, or in terms of your spiritual life. There is some sort of a lack of compassion or empathy, or something that's blocking you from understanding the people around you. In terms of your career, I think that could very well be the case. We're going to open up this string of cards and see what else it might reveal to us. Seems like we have a good balance of cards. I see a lot of fire, a lot of water, some major arcana. So I think really the prospect will be good for this reading, but let's see what else we can get from this string of cards here. So we start with the Queen of Cups, like we said, and we're going to count from her. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have the Devil card. Now, in terms of your career, I think that is a very good card for career. It shows your ambition, your hardworking attitude, your very strong work ethic. I think you are very focused on your career, and it may be leading to a little bit of that lack of empathy or compassion for others, because it seems like you're very kind of cutthroat in terms of your career. Like, I feel like nothing really gets in your way, and you have this this energy about you that is really unstoppable, really is going to knock through any kind of obstacles. Now, on either side of this Devil card, we have a couple other cards, right? We have the 5 of Discs, which shows that there is some kind of anxiety or stress there about your finances. And so I think that's kind of what's fueling a little bit of this Devil energy with your kind of ruthless ambition in your career. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that is a way to succeed. That is a very kind of strong way to be in the workplace. And also we have the 6 of Swords next to this Devil. So I really think that while you have this enduring energy, this hardworking attitude, it's not without a lot of planning and a lot of forethought and foresight. So I think that you really have these plans for the future. You really have plans for your career. And I think that is also what is kind of fueling your ambition and this Devil energy that you have in the workplace. And again, I think it's because of this that we're seeing possibly a little bit of a lack of empathy or understanding or compassion in that arena of your life. So we're going to count now from this Devil card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what we have here is the Princess of Swords. So this is kind of opening up the communication. This is beginning to interact with others and be a little bit less defensive, be a little bit less, I guess, ready to kind of deflect other people's opinions or ideas in terms of your career and in the workplace. I think maybe you are a little bit closed off to other ideas, to any opposing viewpoints. And again, that is all contributing, I think, to this lack of empathy, compassion, understanding in terms of your career. Now, this air card is flanked on either side by the Empress and the 9 of Cups there. So with the 9 of Cups, I think this is really affecting your happiness. I think that you you probably would like to open up and be a little bit more compassionate and have some kind of connection with the people around you in the workplace and in your career, in the industry in general. Um, so I think that, this is kind of what you could do to kind of counteract this kind of defensive attitude, or this kind of closed off, or this readiness to really do battle in terms of like the way you communicate and interact with people. I think a little bit of this Empress energy would be good for you in order to just make an effort to connect with people and make an effort to see other people on a human level and connect with them and start to develop this empathy and this connection and this compassion for others. And I don't think that will in any way take away from this devil energy, which is your ambition, your will to succeed, your strength and endurance in your career in order to achieve the success that you're after. So I think what this trio of cards here is saying, that you will probably feel a lot better and be happier in life and in your career if you would strive to make connections with people beyond just the strictly business communication that we see with the devil and with the Six of Swords over here. I think it really is a matter of connecting with people on a personal level, okay? So this is a princess. We're going to count 7 from her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're back over here with the Queen of Swords. So this, again, has to do with the communication, of course. And I think in this case, this is your communication maybe being taken to the next level, where you're starting to incorporate a little bit of the empathy and compassion that we had over here with this Queen of Cups, because really this Queen of Cups is connected to the Queen of Swords over here, and the Queen of Swords is still next to the Six of Swords. So you still have that organized, that planning, that business sense, that professional attitude, that strong ambition, and clear thinking in terms of your career and how you're moving forward. But now you've taken your communication to the next level, which not to cheapen the human connection or the deeper emotional personal connection, but having that kind of connection, I think, will elevate your game a little bit in terms of your career. So just having the ambition and the endurance and the hardworking attitude, well, that's going to get you only so far. Once you introduce this human connection and start making that, emotional bond or the personal bond with people, I think it's really going to take your communication to the next level, which is then going to take your success to the next level. You know what I mean? Okay, we're going to count from this Queen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have back now to the 5 of Discs. And I think this is showing again that the money anxieties, the worries about success and finances are kind of what's motivating all of this. But I don't think that is really something that you need to worry too much about. You have the 9 of Wands next to you here, and you have that devil energy. So I think you're going to work hard to prevent this money anxiety or the stress related to the finances to really overwhelm you. You have this strong connection with yourself, with your ambition. You know what you want, and you know that you have the capability to get what you want. So I think this 5 of Discs really, again, is showing that there is some financial anxiety, financial worries, but it's not really going to amount to much because you're flanked by these 2 really strong cards here. Now we're going to count 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got the Moon now. And the Moon has the 3 of Cups and Strength or Lust next to it. So with this Moon card, I think it could be that there is some sort of deception going on, or there was some deception going on in your career, in the workplace, that maybe has led you to cut off this human connection, this compassion and empathy. So maybe there was some lying or some kind of deception or some kind of foul play going on in terms of your career that has kind of led you to this place of really not trusting people, not having that personal connection. Maybe there was some issue there that just kind of counteracted any of the compassion or empathy or understanding or the personal connection that you have with people in the workplace. Now, with the 3 of Cups and with the Lust card, these 2 cards, this is water, this is Leo, this is, ruled by fire. So these 2 cancel each other out. So really the abundance and the passion that you could have in the workplace is really kind of negated by this mistrust that you have of people that are around you, either in the workplace or just in the field, in the career that you're in general. So we're going to continue on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're back to where we started with that Queen of Cups. So it does come around full circle, and I think the important thing is to try to reestablish that human connection, get past whatever this issue was with that lying or deceit or whatever kind of foul play that has led you to mistrust people, and to kind of sever any of that personal connection that you've had in the workplace. Okay, we're going to move on now. And the water pile. So this is about your desires, wishes, emotional love life, romance, marriage, pleasure, the state of your feelings. Okay, I think you're being very guarded with your feelings. Let's move that down so you can see it. So this is the water stack, and I think that, with this Emperor being in this water stack, it's not a very good spot. This is fire, this is the water stack. They don't get along, they're opposing forces. So this is bringing out some of the more negative qualities in this Emperor. I think in your terms of your love life or your romantic situation now, there is one or the other of you that is just being very dominating, very overbearing, very kind of a control freak, very totalitarian even, and a little bit tyrannical maybe, where there's just some energy there that is really trying to dominate and control the situation a little bit more than I think needs to be there. But let's open up this string and see what else we can learn. All right, some interesting cards going on here for sure. Okay, now we're going to start from this Emperor, and we're going to go ahead and count 12 from this card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we do have the 7 of discs here, and that card, the keyword there is failure. I think this is a failure for things to really manifest the way that you've kind of intended them to. This isn't working out the way you had hoped. You had maybe some expectations or ideas about how it would go. We have the 3 of Wands here next to it, so that's kind of your ideal. What you were hoping for in this situation doesn't really seem to be panning out. Okay, and it could be a big part because of this kind of dominating energy and this controlling nature that we have here in this relationship. We also have the 10 of Swords on the other side. So I think really you had this idea of how you wanted this relationship to go. It's not panning out. It's not manifesting according to your ideal. And you're kind of at the end of your rope with it. You're kind of at your wit's end. You don't know what else to do. You've tried communicating in any way you know how, and it just doesn't seem to be making a difference or improving things. All right. So let's move on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now we have the Tower. So this, I think, is kind of representing, a little bit of fighting, quarreling, arguments, maybe even the complete just destruction of this relationship. I hate to be so pessimistic. I don't like reading such negative energy in the cards, but sometimes that's what's there, and I don't sugarcoat things. I try to keep it real and tell it like it is. We're seeing this Tower card with the 3 of Swords, heartbreak, sorrow, grief on the side of it here. So I think, it does seem like the relationship is not going to really last. I see it kind of ending, but there is a positive note to that because we have the Fool on this side. The Fool is an air card. The Swords are an air card. These 2 cards really strengthen each other. So you have this Fool over here that's saying, despite this heartbreak here, despite this destruction that we have here, and this sorrow and this heartbreak and grief that you're going to feel, there are new opportunities now. Now you can go out and try different things and see what does work for you. While you were in this kind of dominating energy here with this Emperor card that was kind of being controlling and kind of stifling, I guess, of your spirit. Now we have this Fool energy that is kind of coming along and saying, look, there are more opportunities. Yeah, you're grieving, you're heartbroken, this doesn't feel good, but there are many, many opportunities out there for you. And I think that this card is really encouraging you to look at the bright side of this situation. Okay, so the Tower card is ruled by Mars, and we're going to count 7 from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have then the Two of Swords over here that we're going to talk about. And I think this is really saying that, after the destruction of this relationship, or the ending of that situation, the ending of that kind of crisis, that it seems like it's a kind of an explosive relationship. You're going to have some choices now. You're going to have, one, you have this Fool energy, so you have a lot of opportunities. And you're really going to have choices. You're going to be able to determine what kind of relationship you want. And maybe there are already a couple of people out there that, have their eye on you, that you've kind of always been interested in. And now you kind of have the decision to make on how to move forward with any of those scenarios, or to choose to be by yourself for a while, And on either side of this Two of Swords, we have the 8 of Discs and the Ace of Discs. So we have the 8 and the 1 next to the Two of Swords there. But, these the Earth cards and the Air cards don't really get along. So I think these two Earth cards, the 8 of Discs and the Ace of Discs, are trying to kind of tell you that, yes, you can start something new. This is going to be kind of a new way for you to grow, a new experience for you. You're going to be able to be out on your own for a while, and you have all of these opportunities. You have these choices to make, but you better be careful. You better not jump into anything too quickly. You better not make any kind of impulsive decisions. And, maybe you don't have to decide anything now. Maybe you can just take your time. And we see that with the 8 of Discs. You're taking your time. You're being careful. You're just taking it very, very slow. If you were to start something new with this Ace of Discs, you're going to take it slow and let it build, and really then use that to decide what it is that you want in life, if you want to pursue any kind of new relationship. Now we're going to count 2 from this Two of Swords. So we land on the Ace of Discs. So the Ace of Discs then is, surrounded by this Two of Cups, and then the Two of Swords that we had as well. So I really think that the new opportunity is there for a new love, a harmonious love, a love where the two of you appreciate each other. There's no kind of imbalance. There's no, there's none of this dominating emperor energy, or this controlling kind of energy in that relationship. So this is more of a harmonious connection. It's more of a love connection. It's more of a deep and meaningful experience that you have. Okay. And, I think that it's important for you to decide that. I think this trio of cards is really telling you that it's time for you to choose love and harmony, and first and foremost, love and harmony with yourself, and to not let anyone have this emperor energy over you anymore, ever again. And so were you to start something new, it would have to be something where you've taken it slow, you've chosen wisely, and you've made sure that you thoroughly vet the person before really jumping into anything serious. And you will be opening yourself up to a really good, true connection that it's okay if it takes a while to get started, right? It doesn't have to happen overnight. So now from this Ace, we're going to count 11 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're at the beginning of a new cycle. We've got the Four of Wands there. The Four of Wands is a little bit weakened by this Eight of Cups, a little bit strengthened by this 10 of Swords. So I think with this new cycle, the ending of this old relationship, I think on the one hand, it's encouraging because you know that you've tried everything to make it work. You know that this isn't ending through any fault of your own. You've been pretty stand up about it. I think you've been very fair and very balanced with it. And, the fact that things are ending is not going to really give you any kind of guilt or any kind of, let's say, sadness or depression over the fact that it's ending. There's going to be that grief there that we talked about already, but it's not through any fault of your own. So it's not like there's going to be any feelings of regret or depression or anything there, because you don't have anything to feel guilty about. You've tried everything that you could, and it's still kind of deteriorated, and that's fine. These things happen. The cycles end and new cycles begin. So that's where we are now with that 4. And let's see where we can go from there. 1, 2, 3, 4. We end up back with the 3 of Swords. So again, it's talking about the sorrow and the grief that has happened from that. But now if we're looking at what this sorrow and grief is showing us, but it's got the Ace of Wands next to it. So it's really kind of emphasizing the fact that it's through this grief and the sorrow and the kind of mourning the old relationship and going through those, the feelings when a relationship ends. It's really going to renew your confidence, your enthusiasm, your kind of just your confidence and your self-possession, right? You're going to start, feeling that fire within again. And with that Ace of Wands, I think you've got that really fiery spirit to go out there and make yourself happy and do what you need to do in order to build up something new. With this Tower energy, we tore something down, but then once that's been torn down and destroyed, it's time to build something back up. And I think it's through this process that you're able to then discover what it is that you want and what is inside you and what that fiery energy is kind of pushing you toward. And you're going to be able to build that in your life according to your own desires, right? So from the 3 of Swords, 1, 2, 3, we're back on the Fool. And the Fool, again, is these opportunities to rebuild your life the way you want. You're going to be very unified in your thinking. You're going to be very, not so much defensive anymore or offensive even, but you're going to you're not going to budge in what you believe. Okay, you know what you deserve, you know what you want, and it's going to be very important to you that relationships have certain qualities, that the other person has certain qualities that you're looking for, and you're not going to compromise on certain things that you are just find very valuable and are very important to you. You're not going to budge on those. You're not going to budge on those issues. Okay, so I think we're going to end this string here. It does. We did talk about the ending of this relationship, but, I think all things eventually come to an end, and it is through change that we're able to grow and able to rebuild things more in line with what we really desire, what we really deserve. And I think you have all the power to do that. Okay, the air pile. This is for your thoughts, mental capacity, worries and concerns, conflict, disharmony, or some kind of communication issues. Whatever issue you're having with your communication or with this kind of interaction that you have with this person, you need to stop right now. You need to basically call a truce. You need to try to be the bigger person about it. Try to take the high road and just stop the fighting. Take a break. Allow yourself to recover from this. If it's been something that it's really emotionally taxing, it's wearing on you, it's a very heavy situation, you need to basically just call a ceasefire, call a truce, wave the white flag, because you need to recuperate from what's going on. Now let's find out a little bit more about this. Don't forget to hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Okay, so we're going to start with this 4 of Swords and move on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 9 of Swords. Yeah, there are a lot of swords here today. So with the 9 of Swords, I think that this communication, this situation that you're in with this person has started to become pretty low and dirty. I think there's some low blows. And I think that it's really becoming kind of cruel and it's not really being very productive. There's nothing gained from any of this conflict. I think now you're just kind of hurling insults back and forth, kind of. It's just throwing stones at each other. It's just being cruel. It's just trying to hurt each other as much as possible. We've got the 7 of Swords next to it here, was just saying, yeah, there's nothing getting through. I mean, you guys are just kind of going at each other's throats, but there's really nothing being produced. There's no there's no ground being gained. There's really nothing accomplished from all of this. So I think it definitely is time to call that truce, at least to kind of take a step back and regroup, take a breath, and see where you might want to go from here and how to resolve this issue. I see here also that we have the Prince of Wands, and I think this is kind of, it's going to be difficult for you to kind of call that ceasefire and call that truce. I think that you're someone who, once you get going, it's kind of hard to hold yourself back. And that's what we see with the Prince of Wands there. It's just this kind of impulsive energy that just wants to go, 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 go. So it's going to be hard to pull yourself back and kind of rein in that energy and take a moment to regroup and to stop and think and reassess the situation. Okay, so we're going to count from the Nine of Swords here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The reason why you should probably call it quits and take a beat and rest and recuperate now is because you're going to lose the battle ultimately. Not that you're going to lose the battle, but I think you're going to kind of take more punches than you give. I don't think that there's going to be anything accomplished by this, and it's not going to help your situation. You're not going to feel like you've accomplished anything. You are going to feel like they are just making things worse, and things are getting worse and worse and worse, and they're not getting any better. With the Adjustment or Justice card on the side here, we see that this might be a person. This situation might involve a person with whom you have either a legal agreement, a binding contract, maybe a marriage, maybe a business partner, maybe somebody that you work with, because we do have that card, which is kind of suggesting to me that there's like a contractual relationship there. I don't know if that resonates or not, but I think this card is also saying that you guys aren't playing fair anymore. And we saw that with the Nine of Swords too, where it's just kind of like just a lot of low blows, and no one's really playing fair anymore, and there's nothing being accomplished, and you're feeling like you keep losing this battle, but yet that with that fiery Prince of Wands, you just want to keep fighting, even though I think you're kind of losing this one. So it's better to take the high road and utilize this Magus card here and try to be a little bit mature about it, and try to use some of that wisdom that you have within you to just say, okay, I need to rein this in. I need to regroup and re-strategize and figure out a different way to approach this, because this way isn't working. And since you do have the Magus card there, I think you're more than capable of figuring out a new approach to this situation and getting the upper hand, or just finding kind of a good way to resolve this. Okay, we're going to count from the Five of Swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so yeah, the Two of Wands, this is showing that it's kind of a fight for who is the boss. I think you both want to be in charge. I think you both want to be the leader or have the final say, or just be the dominant party, the dominant energy. But we have these two water cards on the side, which is just saying it's not going to work. You're going to end up suffering and sacrificing. You're going to end up having just a lot of negative emotions about it, and nothing is going to be accomplished. There's really going to be no good resolution while you guys keep at it with this, especially with this Nine of Swords energy over here. There's really no good resolution until you take that pause, call the truce, regroup, rethink it, utilize that Magus card, and figure out how to go forward. That's going to be more likely to ensure the best outcome for you. Okay, so we're going to count now too from the Two of Wands, which takes us right here to this Princess of Cups. So this again is showing that there's going to be some negative emotions involved, and that it really is already affecting your emotions deeply. I think this card might also be hinting at the beginning of this whole matter might be more of a misunderstanding than anything really overt and really serious. It seems to me like this card is saying, you perceived something, you thought maybe something was going on, but it's really not what you thought it was. Like this whole argument, this whole conflict, this whole situation is really based on that misunderstanding. Okay, now we're going to count 7 from her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, there's that fiery Prince of Wands again. And, I think this is really, again, saying that you've got to check this impulsive part of you. And I think maybe maybe that's what led to this whole thing, was you perceived something, you thought there was something going on. It turns out it wasn't there, but you just reacted to it. Okay, I think as a lot of us would, you perceived something was going on and you just reacted. And and now I think you're maybe starting to realize, because we have also that Seven of Wands there, which that again is showing that you're up against a lot of force. You keep banging your head into this gate and it's not budging. There's no getting through this situation using the force that you're using here, using this fiery energy, this blunt kind of force. It's not really accomplishing anything, and I don't think you're gonna have much progress using these kinds of tactics. Okay. Let's move on now from the Prince of Wands. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the Prince of Discs. So the Prince of Discs has a lot of discs next to it. So it's got the 4 of discs, the 9 of discs. And so this one, I think, is really saying that you need to find a different approach. Instead of this kind of active, aggressive, fiery approach to the situation, take a more laid back, a more passive, a more strategic, a more kind of Zen or Taoist approach to it, where you just kind of utilize the energy that's there and try to manipulate it in a way that's going to benefit you. Because really what we're trying to accomplish is your security and your prosperity. And that's what the 4 of discs here is saying, is that you need to concentrate on what's going to secure your position. And then you also need to focus on what's going to secure your future gains, your future, prosperity, the income, your health and wealth for the future. So by taking a more passive role, a more kind of submissive role, or just more strategic rather than tactical, you know what I mean? So if you have to, stop being so fiery, be a little more earthy, be solid and steadfast and hardworking and, and resolute, but don't be so actively trying to change things. Just kind of be a little bit more strategic. Now we're going to count from this card, 1, 2, 3, 4, back to justice or adjustment, that kind of contractual relationship, that legal agreement or something. And the solution to this whole situation might really just be you kind of turning away from all of that and just getting out of this situation. I don't think that just plowing through it with this fiery energy is going to solve anything. I think the best way might just be to walk away from whatever relationship, whatever agreement or contract the two of you have. And because I see that it's kind of a losing situation. I don't think that this relationship, this agreement, or whatever it is, I don't think is really going to benefit you. And the best option might be to just walk away, just get out of it, and go your own way. Might be the safest bet there. So let's count now from the Justice card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Back to the 9 of Swords. So that means we're going to end this reading. I hope this resonated with you. I hope this gives you a little bit of insight into this situation that you have found yourself in. Now we're going to move on. Okay, the Earth stack. So this is for your question about the outer world, practical life, material affairs, money, business, the physical world, maybe physical health. So we have an air card here. The air and the earth don't really get along. So to me, this Prince of Swords is saying that there is some communication issue going on in terms of your business, your finances, your money affairs, and the physical world. So we're going to see if we can dive into that and get a little bit more insight into what might be going on with this communication. Maybe there is some information that needs to be sorted out or received or offered, or it's maybe a message that you haven't quite gotten yet. But let's see what we can see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have the 4 of Cups here. Now I'm thinking that maybe this is the recent recovery from an illness with the 4 of Cups. Now the 4s are stabilized, they feel good now, but it's like they just got out of this storm and they are still kind of recovering. They're not really ready to kind of move on or take the next steps, but they've recovered, they've stabilized, and they are they're getting better. They're almost at 100%, but they're in stable condition. Okay, But on either side of this, we have the 3 of discs and the 10 of discs. So this does reinforce the idea that this is about your finances or your work situation. So I think maybe there is some work issues going on that are directly related to kind of how much money you're earning, and maybe it's this health issue that is you've just recovered from and now you're ready to get back to work, or you're kind of concerned about the work being there when you get back, or about the same level of success and income and the same financial stability being there when you get back. If this is kind of a health related issue, it does seem like you've recovered, but not quite enough yet to get back to really cranking out the work like you used to. Okay, but we're going to see if we can clarify this a little bit. So we have the 4 of cups here. We're going to count 4 from that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have the Sun, a major arcana heavyweight card. This again is suggesting to me a return to health. Okay. The Sun card there is showing vitality. You know, the Sun generally represents our health, our well-being, our vitality, our kind of inner strength. So it does appear to me that you've recently recovered, or you're on your way to recovering from an illness, and that is directly related to you getting back to making that money and earning, because this 6 of discs is about the financial harmony, success, balance, a really good omen for business and for finances. Okay, so I think when you achieve that return to health, you're going to go back into a situation that's going to be as good, if not better, than before in terms of your finances. Okay, and now this Ace of Cups that we have on that side, this is showing that it's really, I think, going to be not only a restoration of health and a return to really successful kind of, work efforts, but you're really going to feel good, just emotionally and physically. I think you're going to have a renewed joy and love and appreciation for life and for what you do for a living too. With these 2 cards together, it's just kind of, you're really going to enjoy what you're doing now. You have this return to health, and it's going to be a very good experience, very pleasurable and joyful, and you're going to really appreciate getting back to work there. So let's count now from the Sun card. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now we start getting into this communication issue that we were talking about to begin with. So with the 8 of Wands here, that's about very swift communication, very, very quick, data or messages or phone calls or text messages, or the very quick sharing of ideas. So what I think is going on is you're waiting for that good news to come your way, that you can get back to work, right? That you can return to the workplace and start earning your money again. So if this was a health issue, I think maybe you're waiting for the news from the doctor, or you're waiting just for that okay from somewhere that's telling you, yes, it's time to get back to work. And I think with this 8 of Wands, I think that news is coming quickly. I think you're going to be receiving that right away. If you haven't already received that news, I think it's coming ASAP, and it's really going to be a complete return to your health. Again, we have the 6. We had a 6 over here. We had the Sun card. We had the 4 of Cups. Now we have the 6 of Wands. That's reinforcing this kind of swift communication here, and it's saying that you've kind of had victory over this illness, or whatever this physical situation was. It could be an injury, but you've had this return to wholeness, a return to balance and harmony that's going to allow you to get back to your life, right? Get back to the physical activities that you're so eager to get back to. Now, on the other side of this, we have this 7 of Cups, but we are kind of going to ignore that because this is water. These 2 cards are fire cards. They just kind of say, we don't even care about that 7 of Cups there. So this is just kind of, the bad news. This is kind of the potential there for disappointment and loss, and just the decay of your hopes and your desires, right? But these 2 fire cards say no, there's none of that. So we're not even going to worry about that. We're going to move on from the 8 of Wands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10 of Cups here is saying that you're going to be completely satisfied by the outcome of this situation. So if this is in terms of your finances, or if it's an illness or injury that you're recovering from and you're getting back to your business, back to your work and your employment and making money, I think you're going to be fully satisfied with the outcome of this, right? And with this, the Hierophant card, I think this is showing that you're going to be very, very pleased to get back to the company, to get back to the industry or the organization that you are associated with. I think they're going to be very happy to have you back. And I think it's really, everyone's cup is going to be full, basically. Okay. So it's really a satisfying experience. Everybody is just really, really excited for this to happen. And I think this is the news that you're waiting for. I think is just to get the all clear to go back to your activities of your daily life, to get back to your work, the organization that you're associated with. And it's that sharing of those ideas, and it's that communication, that everything is getting back to normal. It's that good news that you're waiting to hear, right? So I think that's where we kind of started from with this Prince of Swords, is you kind of just waiting for that good news. Okay, now we're gonna count one more time from this 10 of Cups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here we have the 10 of Wands, and I think we're going to end it right here, because it's the 10. We have the 10 of Cups here. Now we get to the 10 of Wands. I think this really is you at full capacity, 100% vitality, 100% back in business, and you're flanked by the 6 of Discs, which is showing you kind of just back in the mix. Things are happening harmoniously around you. You're really, really back in a balanced way. Like I said, 100% energy, full recovery. And then also with the Chariot card, the Chariot is another card that suggests a return to health and vitality. And you're all protected now. Whatever was going on with your body, with your physical world, is now fully restored, fully recovered, and you're ready to get a move on and get back to your life. And I think that is just absolutely wonderful, wonderful news. And we're going to wrap this up right here. So please don't forget to hit that like button, and please subscribe to this channel. This was the weekly opening of the key. Like I said, every Monday we're going to cut the deck into 4 piles to represent the 4 basic areas of your life, and you can just choose whichever reading you would like. Thank you so much.